Hey guys, welcome back to Diligent Canine, and in this video I'm going to talk about how public obedience can help your dog. So it should be no secret why public obedience is important, but I want to take some time to talk about how it can benefit your dog other than how it can benefit you by being able to manage their behavior. I was at the vet's office today getting my annual vaccines and checkup for Dean. It's that time of the year for us. And I did a little obedience in the exam room while I was waiting. Sometimes I do obedience in the lobby or waiting area, depending on how full it is, how big the waiting area is. The temperament of other dogs and other people that I observe around me is very important. I've talked about that in other videos. When and why exposing your dog to neutral environments with other neutral dogs, that is dogs that are neither running away or running up on your dog, is very important in their socialization or teaching them how to interact with other dogs and other people. Okay, so that they don't have an overtly negative experience. They can kind of develop their own interpretation or their own observations about that environment, and that is that they don't have to worry about those other people or other animals. They focus on you. So let me dive into this one step at a time. So let's look at the lobby, the waiting room area at the vet's office. You could say the pet store, it would be the same thing, or the exam room at the vet. Okay, so the lobby. There are strange smells, there are strange people, there are strange animals. By the way, not just dogs, cats, all kinds of other pets. You literally have no idea what could come through that front door while you're sitting there waiting. So, it might not be a very good idea to try to do like a healing routine, especially if you've never done that thing before in your home or in a less stimulating environment. But giving the dog a task can help them calm down. Okay, so if I tell the dog to sit next to me and look at me, the purpose is not success is not determined based on whether you look at me or not. The whole idea is bigger than that. The principle is that I'm giving you a job to do so that your brain can focus on that, can focus on whether I'm telling you to sit, whether I'm telling you to lay down in front of me, whether I'm telling you to look at my face. I'm telling you to do those things so that you can worry about that rather than whatever is going on out there in the world. Okay, but in this case, it's in a relatively close space in a waiting room. But giving the dog it has to be simple, a simple job to do can help them calm down. And obviously simple is a relative term. If you never practice sits and downs and focused gazes, if you never practice that at home, that's going to be really difficult for your dog. That's why it's important to practice these basic behaviors over and over and over and over and over again, so that in an environment that is stimulating, and you can't just walk out the door. So trainers that would say, well, you just need to back the stimulation off more. That's not an option. I have to take my dog to the vet. I have to get him his checkups. He has to get his shots. I can't leave. So what I can do is teach him to do a behavior, perform a task, and when he does that in a different environment, it actually teaches the dog that, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, this isn't so bad after all. I believe that's the message that you send to your dog then when I ask you to sit. When I ask you to look at me in a different environment, I can see my dog relax. I can see the stress and anxiety go down, because once he starts doing the behavior, one, his focus is off of that external stimulation. The focus is brought back to me. Two, the dog is doing a behavior that it is familiar with. So it's bringing something that's familiar into an unfamiliar environment. It's a similar concept if you had a toddler child and you brought their blanket or their favorite stuffed animal with them when you went to your in-laws house or something like that. Okay, so you're getting the dog to focus back on you rather than the stimulation, the stress, call it either one, in the environment. And you're bringing a familiar element, that obedience, that basic, very simple obedience, back to this stressful environment. So the message to the dog then is like, oh, this is what we're doing here. Okay, I can calm down a little. The same is true in the exam room, but for different reasons. So in the waiting room, you obviously have a lot of people, a lot of dogs, maybe phones ringing, secretary, technicians talking, people coming and going, doors opening, closing, things like that. Back in the exam room, there are needles, there are shots, there are medicines. All of those smells are going to be building associations with your dog. So it's up to you to make sure that those associations are positive. And that is that the message you send to the dog is like, when you smell and see that stuff, the scales, the chairs, the jars with syringes or popsicle sticks in them, it's no big deal. It's just another place. Even better, it's a place where I'm going to get food. So that brings me to the next point is I always take a bait pouch with a couple cups of food in it when I go to the vet, so I can dole out those copious rewards and make sure that going to the vet is always going to be a positive experience for my dog. Now, obviously, things are going to be painful. Having a thermometer shoved up your butt, it's not something I'm into, and I don't think my dog really digs it either. Same thing with having to get shots. Okay, pain tolerance is relative. Like I say, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel good either. I don't love getting shots. I don't love needles getting stuck into me in my shoulder, my hips, and my forearms. These are all things that happen during an exam with the dog. So I bring the food with me, not just to do obedience, not just to relax my dog, but so that I can give copious rewards after those shots. And I've never gotten any kind of pushback from vets or techs or anything like that. And if I did, frankly, I would tell them to shove it and I would go to a different vet, because that's how I'm getting my dog to calm down. So as soon as the shot finishes, I obviously let the medical staff do their thing. I'm typically holding my dog's head or his shoulders, something like that. Right after the shot, boom, handful after handful after handful of food. I let him eat them out of my hand, let him relax. I'm sure that didn't feel good. I want you to calm down and let you know this is okay. What I absolutely don't want to do is start yelling at or punishing my dog for being scared. You are only adding insult to the injury and making it worse. Way worse, by the way. So, take some food with you the next time you go to the vet's office. See if you can lure your dog's attention back to you when they're looking at another person or another dog. When you get back to the exam room, practice some sits, some downs. Play around with the environment. Something that I played with for a little bit was trying to get the dog to climb up in, and my dog's not small, to climb up and sit in the chair that's made for humans and wait there. So doing those kind of tasks will help your dog calm down. And also feeding them will help them calm down when those sort of procedures, those simple procedures, right? We're talking about non-invasive, routine things, grooming, medical checkups, stuff like that. You feed the dog just like you would pet, slow petting to calm the dog down. Give them some food and help them along in that process. It's not going to hurt anything to feed them, and it's only going to help your obedience to be able to train it in different environments. It's going to help calm your dog down as well and help them become more accustomed to that environment. So, be smart, train hard, train safe, and take care of your dogs. Peace out.